And good Thursday morning to you. Hope you're getting a good start to the day. Just about 40 minutes after 6 o'clock here on the morning show. We've been talking about this Hunter Biden story for a while now, at least on this station we have. But the rest of the world seems to be catching up quickly now. And there's a new wrinkle as some new emails have come out where Hunter Biden is just ripping Bill Clinton and Hillary as well. And here to give us some of the details is Sean Themea, who's the chief of staff with the Young Americans for Liberty. And Sean, welcome to the show. How are you this morning?
Doing great, Toby. It's a beautiful morning in Austin, Texas. Thanks for having me.
You bet. We appreciate it. And so, Sean, can you break down what's in these most recent released emails of Hunter Biden's in regards to the Clintons? What are these about?
Absolutely. Well, I will self-censor to not give you the full quotes,
Sure.
right? But Biden, we got the president's son ripping a former president as an a-hole who looks like feces, right? That's one thing. We've got him ripping him for all these different things, ripping his aides for double dipping on salaries, right? Talk about projection. And then we've got a clip of him showing Bill Clinton clashing with Black Lives Matter protesters and got Hunter Biden ripping him for that. So it seems like the worst people in the world are fighting, it's always free entertainment when they do.
Yes.
But, I mean, this should just be a wake-up call to people across the country that the Bidens and the Clintons, they're prime examples of people with power mishandling their influence. And sunlight is the best disinfectant on that.
Yeah, no, I would totally agree with you as we're talking with Sean Themea this morning. He's the chief of staff for the Young Americans for Liberty. So, Sean, how are these emails becoming public? Are these leaks or are these official releases? Who's putting these out?
Yeah, so Fox News Digital obtained the information. And as far as just how they're getting out, I mean, these things were out and they were public and they were available about a year ago. But then you have the Washington Compost and other people in the corporate press who said, oh, no. They all united, the experts united, said this is fake news. This shouldn't influence the election at all. This is just Russian misinformation, this whole laptop story. But as we know, Toby, the conspiracy theories and fake news of today oftentimes is the truth of tomorrow. And so, again, this is just another wake-up call for people across the country that, maybe I shouldn't trust everything that MSDNC spoon feeds me. Maybe I should think for myself and think about who the corporate press is protecting when they're going out and making this news coverage.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're very true on this, and obviously, we're part of that, and we try hard here at this station to see through those things and to bring these things up. We've been talking about Hunter Biden, especially if you talk about our afternoon show. They've been all over Hunter Biden for a couple years now, and so yeah, you're right. I mean, it really doesn't come to the forefront. And now I thought I saw that Delaware had opened up an investigation into Hunter Biden already, but will these emails, now that they're becoming at least more public, at least more looked at and talked about, will they push more investigations and maybe even at a federal level for Hunter Biden? What do you think on that, Sean?
We will see. I mean, look, you got small victories in the justice system from some of these Trump-appointed judges. I mean, in fact, the latest one is not small at all. You've got Catherine Mizell single-handedly, by following the Constitution in Florida, overturning the federal mask mandates in the airports. That is incredible, and that should encourage us that we're going to see developments long-term from these Trump-appointed judges. I'm glad to see someone open the investigation in Delaware, but knowing people who are in the Trump administration, I mean, even they, said, hey, there's still a ton of, deep state to cut through in the federal government that just never seems to go away. So I would be surprised if this continues and escalates, just considering who's still pulling the strings in D.C. and in the deep state. But, we will see. And the fact that it even opened in the first place should be an encouraging sign.
Yeah, no, it means we're at least pointed in the right direction. As we're talking with Sean Themea this morning, he's the chief of staff for the Young Americans for Liberty. Now, we know that Twitter banned Hunter Biden stories right before the 2020 election. You talked about that a minute ago. Are you happy that Elon Musk has purchased Twitter and will hopefully restore at least some essence of freedom of speech on that particular social media platform?
You absolutely love to see it, Toby. I mean, this is just what the left has been doing for years. They have been playing woke capitalism and taking over companies and having their stakeholders, their top stakeholders, push, these terrible ideas upon the country, whether it's censorship or just wokeism at large. So rather than sit on the sidelines and complain about it, I love to see Elon fighting fire with fire and taking a risk. People forget this part, right? The left, they just say, oh, it's this rich guy taking over a company. That's wrong. hey, he's taken a substantial risk of his own money to try and make something better, right? It's not like this is just something he woke up and decided to do. This is his life he's putting out there and his reputation he's putting out there at stake. And I'm glad to see him do it because we need free speech absolutism on Twitter, right? We've seen too many people shadow banned, too many true stories suppressed, and I'm excited to see where it goes.
Yeah, no, it is. It's an exciting time. Now, Sean, before we let you go, what do the Young Americans for Liberty do? What is that organization about, and how could we find out more information about your organization?
Absolutely. Well, Young Americans for Liberty is one of the only groups out there that's not just reaching out to college students and introducing them to the ideas of liberty and freedom. And I owe them a lot of credit because in college, I came in as an Obama-loving progressive, and I left as a hardcore liberty guy thanks to YAL. But we're also getting students involved in the political process and placing students on campaigns at the state level, knocking doors and turning out the vote for hardcore liberty candidates who are going to restore the Constitution state by state. You can find out more about our group at yaliberty.org.
All right, so yaliberty.org is where you can find some more information about the Young Americans for Liberty. Sean, sounds like a great organization, and glad that you were able to find it. And appreciate you coming on our show. Appreciate you finding our show this morning, and we'll definitely do it again soon, but we appreciate your time today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Toby.
All right, there goes Sean Themea. He is the chief of staff for the Young Americans for Liberty. So we appreciate his time this morning, especially covering the Hunter Biden story. And it is 47 minutes after 6 o'clock. So let's get another look at some traffic and weather. Here's Rebecca Davis.